Hey everyone, as you can see, I've been building some cabinets recently. I've got one of the uppers that I'm just finishing off right here. And through the process of building these cabinets, I've been using a lot of different tools that I know I want to highlight in future videos, especially my track saw. But throughout this process, there's one tool that I keep leaning towards that I think is pretty unique in woodworking. And not to woodworking, but for me to be using in woodworking, and that is my laser measure. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a close-up of this and some of the use cases that I have when it comes to cabinetry, but I can tell you that this saves me a ton of time when it comes to measurements and cutting shelves and that sort of thing. So let's take a bit of a closer look at some of those use cases.
Okay, so before I get to the actual use cases on the cabinet itself, I'll just highlight the laser measure that I'm using. And this is nothing fancy. This is the Bosch, I think they call them the Bosch Blaze series of laser measures. And this is the GLM 30. So 30 stands for 30 meters, which I think is like pretty much right on 100 feet. So yeah, so very simple to use. You can basically just point it to where you want. There are also a variety of functions that you can go through to select either doing squares or if you want to calculate the volume of a space or triangles and that sort of thing. But for me, I pretty much always use just the straight line, and you just basically point it. You see the laser on the other end, press it again, and it will show you the measurement. And it shows you, so in this case, it's showing 3/16. This does show 30 seconds, which I really wish that I could toggle to 16ths. It does claim that this laser measure is accurate to the 16th, but then it displays it in 30 seconds. So you kind of have to do a little bit of that mental math, whereas I wish that I could just change it to 16ths as the base. But anyways, so this does see a lot of use. And again, let's just take a quick look at some of those use cases. I do have a link to the GLM 30 in the description below. I don't think it's available in the US anymore, but I linked to the GLM 20, which is significantly cheaper than what this was. So I think it's under $40 US and $45 Canadian. The GLM 30 is I think around $80 Canadian. If I were to do it again, I would consider the GLM 50C. So the 50 stands for 50 meters, which I think is 165 feet. And it has Bluetooth. So the GLM 50C has Bluetooth so that then that can relay measurements to your phone, which for me in a small shop with another downstairs work area where I do a lot of my painting and finishing, it would be really handy to have all those measurements on my phone rather than just a piece of paper that I seem to lose all the time. So anyways, let's get to a couple of use cases. So first and foremost, just any inside measurements. So you can basically just butt this up to the workpiece. Make sure the laser's in the right spot. I know you can't see that on the camera. Press it, and I can see that it is 2 feet, 1 inch, and 25/30 seconds. Then what I could do is I could take this to an upper part of the cabinet and see if it's the same, knowing that sometimes plywood's not perfectly straight, so you can figure out where you need braces and that sort of thing. This also helps me when it comes to putting shelves in. So on shelf pins, I may subtract 1/4 inch from that, and then that helps give me the width on those shelf pins. But it also helps, and I know on video you won't be able to see the top of the screen, but if I wanted to measure to, let's just say that this was the top of the cabinet, I could just put a piece that overhangs and then put this on the bottom or just on the ground and then shoot that up. And then I can get that measurement. So 1 foot, 2 inch, and 11/30 seconds to the top of this, this shelf. So really good for giving those measurements. So if you're doing the sides, you can get really perfect measurements from that. And the other use case is if I needed to cut a cross member for here, I could basically just put this here. So again, just another use for, didn't quite get that. There we go. And then we get 2 feet, 0 inches, and 3/16. So then I know exactly what size I need to cut for that cross piece. So that's pretty much it. A very handy tool, something that I don't use in any of my other woodworking other than cabinetry, but something that I definitely recommend if you are doing a lot of cabinets or cutting shelves for any sort of shelving unit. Definitely check this out. So I'll leave some links in the description below for the Bosch GLM 20, GLM 30, and GLM 50C. And yeah, thanks for watching, and see you in another video soon.